Hi, Lady Posse. My name's Danni Archer. I'm a weight loss and food cravings expert. My experience in it comes from a professional background, so I am a qualified naturopath, but it also comes from my personal experiences with weight loss and food cravings, and that's why I'm so passionate about sharing the information that I share. So today I wanted to share 5 reasons why you have food cravings. I'm going to go through them one by one. So number 1 is not eating enough protein, carbs, or fat. So it's about the balance of these 3 major food groups that we have. If you're not eating enough carbs, you're going to crave carbs. Your brain runs on glucose. You need carbohydrates to live. So make sure you're getting really high quality carbs and not restricting to them to the point that they're actually going to cause cravings for exactly what you're trying to avoid. Similarly with fats, if you're not eating enough fats during the day, you're going to crave really high fat foods. So think hot chips, donuts, banana bread, all those kind of things. Cravings for those kind of foods can be a sign that you're not actually getting enough of the fat that your body needs. And unfortunately, we don't crave an avocado usually. It's the other fats that we're craving, the less desirable ones. So having those healthy fats in your diet in the first place can make sure that you're not getting the cravings for those foods later in the day. And with protein is an interesting one. It is linked to specific food cravings like toast. So if you're not getting enough specific proteins, you might crave toast. But just general overeating. So if you're not eating enough protein during the day, you're more likely to overeat and eat past your full level. So really important that you're getting a balance of protein, carbs, and fats in your day to make sure that you can eliminate the food cravings that are associated with those. Number 2 is just generally not eating enough. And you might have had this experience where you start a diet on a Monday, you have a smoothie for breakfast, a salad for lunch, and you get home in the afternoon and you're eating everything in the pantry. And it's actually because you haven't eaten enough that day. We all have these wonderful ideas that we're going to go on the diet that's going to solve all our problems, but we end up restricting our calorie intake to a point where our body's not actually comfortable with it, and we're going to start to crave more food. Your body's just screaming out for more. Number 3 is self-reward, and this is generally from childhood patterns. So if you ever remember getting comforted by food, so if you were crying and your parents gave you food, or your teacher gave you food, or even getting a lollipop at the doctor's when you had your immunizations, all of these things put in place a pattern that tells us food makes me feel better. And when we get to adulthood, no one's giving us lollipops when we're sad, so it's up to us to use that food to comfort ourselves if we're still in that pattern. So if you feel like that's a factor in your food cravings, look back into how you were treated with food when you were younger, and it can be a really good thing to kind of break down that pattern and start to move forward from it. But recognizing it is the first key. Number 4 is nutrient deficiencies. So there are specific nutrient deficiencies that will cause food cravings. Most of you would have heard that magnesium deficiency can cause a craving for chocolate. The issue with these type of cravings is that usually we're craving a highly processed form of the natural food. So while the cacao bean does have magnesium in it, milk chocolate from Cadbury has little to no magnesium in it. So we're craving it because of what it should have or could have. We give in to that craving usually, and our body still isn't satisfied. So that's when the craving can kind of seem to go on forever, because your body's not getting what it needs, even though you're giving it what it wants. So lots of different nutrient deficiencies linked to lots of different foods. Way too many to cover in this video, but I do have some information on that coming to my blog soon. So I'll make sure to share that in here when I do that one. And number 5 is habit. So when I'm working one-on-one with clients, usually it doesn't, the cravings don't disappear straight away. But what happens is we're working on the craving to a point, we're working on getting rid of that craving, and after a few sessions, I'll usually say to the client, are you still eating that food? Say it's chocolate that they had an issue. Are you still eating chocolate? And they'll say yes. And I say, okay, does it feel like a craving before you actually eat the chocolate? Is it a strong craving like you used to have? Like, is it that kind of, oh my God, I need chocolate right now? And it's not. It's become a habit. So we've taken away the power. We've taken away that strong, hard to ignore craving. And all we're left with is a habit because they're just used to eating it. That's what they've been doing. They've had the cravings for years. And so that's when I get really excited because we can change a habit. It's really hard to ignore food cravings, and knowing why they're actually there is the only way to get rid of them. So once we get to the habit stage, there's no more fighting against food cravings. There's no more fighting against your body. Like, if your body is craving something, how are you going to argue with yourself? That's a pretty hard battle. So once we get to the habit stage, that's really easy. We can totally get over that hurdle, and we've taken away the power that that craving had over you. So that's my top 5. There's so many more, but they're the 5 that I'm sharing today, and I'll be back soon with lots more information on food cravings for you. Bye.